Have you ever been driving down the highway, stuck behind a brand new gleaming truck that costs more than most people's first homes? You know the one I'm talking about. Chrome everywhere, pristine leather seats, and a monthly payment that would make a mortgage broker sweat. But here is the uncomfortable truth that no one talks about. The person driving that truck probably makes less money than you do. So how are they affording it? The short answer is, they aren't. We have completely normalized spending $800,000 or even $200 a month just to get from point A to point B. Modern consumer culture tells us that what we drive is a visible reflection of our success. But Japanese financial philosophy approaches this entirely differently, focusing on Mienai, understanding the unseen reality behind visible wealth. In this video, we are breaking down the massive car payment trap that is quietly destroying middle-class wealth. More importantly, we will explore 8 Japanese money habits that can help you escape this brutal cycle, stop overpaying for a depreciating asset, and start keeping your money where it belongs. When we see these massive, expensive vehicles everywhere, our first instinct is often to assume that everyone else is making incredible money. Or worse, we start to feel like we are somehow falling behind. But the reality is far less glamorous. The average new car payment has quietly crossed the $700 mark, with trucks and SUVs routinely pushing past $900 or even $200 every single month. Millions of regular people with regular jobs are signing away a huge percentage of their take-home pay for depreciating metal. They are not secretly wealthy. They are just financing their lives on longer and longer timelines. You see, we are living in a financial system designed to make impossible payments feel completely normal. The automotive industry is no longer just selling transportation. They are selling lifestyles, rugged identities, and the illusion of success. This is where the philosophy of quiet wealth changes everything. Through the lens of traditional Japanese money habits, true wealth is not measured by what you display to the world, but by the financial peace you keep for yourself. There is a stark difference between looking successful and actually being secure. If you have ever felt like your paycheck disappears to monthly bills before you even get to enjoy it, you are not alone. It is not a lack of willpower. It is simply being caught in the wrong system. Let's look at how we can rebuild that system. In Japanese culture, there is a powerful concept known as Mienai, which translates to the unseen, or that which is invisible to the eye. It is the deep understanding that the most important elements of any situation are often hidden below the surface. When we apply Mienai to modern personal finance, it perfectly explains the reality of the car payment trap. When you look at a $70,000 truck stopped at a red light, you are only looking at the visible surface. You see the shiny paint and the perceived status. What remains unseen, the Mienai, is the crushing 8-year auto loan, the negative equity, the expensive insurance premium, and the quiet financial anxiety of the person behind the wheel. Our modern spending culture is entirely obsessed with what can be seen, but quiet wealth is built on mastering what is unseen. It requires us to look past the comfortable illusion of the affordable monthly payment and confront the true invisible cost of our financial decisions. Let's start with the first major trap, which relates to a cultural concept called gammon. In Japan, gammon translates to enduring the seemingly unbearable with patience and dignity. It is a beautiful philosophy for handling life's inevitable hardships. But modern consumer finance has weaponized this concept. We are now practicing financial gammon, enduring long-term debt just to sustain a lifestyle. Historically, a standard car loan lasted 3, maybe 4 years. Today, lenders routinely stretch car loans to 7 or even 8 years. The modern money problem is that we no longer look at the price tag of a vehicle. We only look at the monthly payment. The visible cost feels like a victory. Spreading a $60,000 truck over 8 years drops the payment down to a number that feels manageable. But the hidden cost is devastating. You end up paying thousands of dollars in extra interest just for the privilege of a lower monthly payment. Worse, cars depreciate rapidly. By year 5, you owe significantly more than the vehicle is actually worth. The psychological trap here is focusing on cash flow instead of net worth. Dealerships know that if they can get the monthly number right, you will sign. The practical system fix is simple but strict. Apply the 4-year rule. If you cannot afford the monthly payment on a 4-year loan, you cannot afford the car. Period. Quiet wealth often begins when you realize that financial success is not about how long you can patiently endure a debt, but how quickly you can actually own the asset. This leads us to the second trap, which goes against another profound Japanese tradition, Kintsugi. Kintsugi is the art of repairing broken pottery with gold, treating the repair as part of the object's history rather than something to disguise. It is the celebration of keeping and maintaining what you already have. Modern car culture violently rejects Kintsugi. We are conditioned to trade in our cars every 3 or 4 years, usually right when we get bored, not when the car stops working. The visible cost is the feeling of pride when you pull into your driveway with a newer, sleeker model. But the real cost is a financial hamster wheel called negative equity. Because that 8-year loan from our first point left you owing more than the car is worth, trading it in means you roll your old debt into your new loan. You are literally paying for a car you no longer drive. The psychological trap is what we might call automotive Stockholm syndrome. You convince yourself that because you work hard, you deserve a reliable modern vehicle as a reward. You view a $1,500 repair bill on your current car as a disaster, but somehow view a $50,000 new loan as a solution. The system fix is to hold on to the vehicle long after the new car smell fades. Commit to driving it until the wheels fall off. Always remember this quiet wealth reflection. Repairing a paid-off car is almost always mathematically cheaper than signing a brand new loan. The third trap involves a well-known Japanese proverb, Tada yori takai mono wa nai, which means nothing is more expensive than something free. This brings us to the illusion of murio, or the 0% financing trick. Walk into any dealership and you will see massive banners advertising 0% APR for qualified buyers. The modern money problem is that we genuinely believe the dealership is handing out a financial advantage. The visible cost feels fantastic. You drive away feeling like a master negotiator who just secured free money to buy a premium vehicle. But the hidden cost is quietly baked right into the contract. Dealerships do not lend money for free. You are either paying the absolute maximum sticker price for the car to get that 0% rate, or you are giving up thousands of dollars in cash rebates. You almost never get both. The psychological trap is the belief that you outsmarted a multi-billion-dollar system. The dealership knows that the lure of free financing will easily convince you to upgrade to a more expensive trim level than you originally intended. The practical system fix is to always separate the transaction. Negotiate the absolute final price of the car first, completely independent of how you plan to pay for it. Quiet wealth teaches us a sobering lesson. Other people's free money always comes with a price. Truly free money is simply money that belongs to you, unburdened by debt. Once you navigate the financing, you face an even deeper emotional hurdle. This fourth trap violates the Japanese principle of ubaitori. Ubaitori is the beautiful concept that people, like different flowers, bloom in their own time and in their own way. It is the practice of never comparing your journey to someone else's. Modern car marketing, however, is built entirely on comparison. The modern money problem is that we are buying heavy-duty, off-road trucks to drive to the grocery store simply because of the success it signals to our neighbors. The visible cost is obvious, a staggering monthly payment that rivals a mortgage. But the real cost is a devastating loss of future freedom. You are actively trading your peace of mind to fund a rugged lifestyle fantasy engineered by marketers. The psychological trap is attaching your core identity to the metal on your driveway. We fear that driving a modest 10-year-old sedan signals failure. We worry that if we do not drive something impressive, people will assume we are falling behind in life. The system fix is to intentionally decouple your identity from your transportation. Force yourself to view a car purely as an appliance that serves a function, rather than a resume on wheels. Quiet wealth is achieved when your vehicle simply moves you from point A to point B, instead of exhausting your income trying to prove to the world who you are. Even if you manage to ignore the status game, the math itself is often broken. This brings us to point number 5, the Kakeibo blind spot. Kakeibo is the traditional Japanese method of financial journaling. Its true power is not just in budgeting, but in creating absolute clarity. It forces you to see the entire picture of where your money flows. The modern money problem is that when we buy a vehicle, we completely abandon clarity. We only look at a single line item. The visible cost is that $800 monthly payment to the bank. You check your budget, see that you have $800 left over at the end of the month, and assume you can afford the truck. But the real cost is that the vehicle drains your accounts from multiple directions. Insuring a massive vehicle can easily cost $250 a month. Fueling a heavy truck adds another $350. Factor in the inevitable brake jobs and premium tire replacements, and that $800 payment is actually a $1,500 monthly financial anchor. The psychological trap here is mental accounting. We subconsciously separate the loan, the gas, the maintenance, and the insurance into different mental buckets, so the massive total number does not terrify us. The system fix is to strictly calculate the total cost of ownership, or TCO, before you ever visit a dealership. Always remember this quiet wealth reflection. Financial awareness does not make you poor. It simply gives you the truth before you pay for a mistake with a decade of your life. Once you understand the true cost of one vehicle, the next trap becomes even more alarming. Point number 6 violates the Japanese principle of harahachibu. This is the cultural practice of eating until you are 80% full. It is the deep wisdom of knowing exactly where the point of enough is, stopping before nourishment turns into excess. The modern money problem is that we have completely lost our sense of enough when it comes to transportation. In many modern neighborhoods, households actually own more cars than they have licensed drivers. The visible cost is absolute convenience. Dad has his heavy-duty work truck, mom has her premium SUV, and perhaps there is a third vehicle just for weekend adventures. The hidden cost is that these families are essentially running their own private auto fleets. They are managing a massive combined depreciation schedule, juggling multiple premium insurance policies, and bleeding cash through overlapping maintenance. The psychological trap is confusing the ability to manage debt with actual financial success. We become so skilled at juggling multiple car payments and due dates that we never stop to ask if we actually need to be juggling them at all. The system fix is to aggressively right-size your fleet. If a car sits in your driveway 6 days a week, it is a liability, not a necessity. Quiet wealth reflection. Enough is not a compromise or a failure. Enough is the exact place where your freedom begins. Extreme convenience will almost always cost you your long-term peace. Number 7 is the Mienai wealth destruction. There is a profound Japanese word, Mienai, which expresses a deep sense of regret concerning waste. While it is usually applied to food or natural resources, the ultimate financial Mienai is wasting your future wealth to fund your present transportation. The modern money problem is that people are now tapping into retirement accounts, taking out home equity loans, or using high-interest credit cards just to cover car down payments or sudden repair bills. The visible cost is simply keeping the shiny vehicle on the road, but the real cost is catastrophic. You are liquidating appreciating assets, literally killing the magic of compound interest, to support a depreciating liability that will inevitably become scrap metal. The psychological trap is completely reversing the wealth equation. We convince ourselves that keeping our current car is an emergency worth borrowing against our future for. The system fix is to create a dedicated vehicle sinking fund. Treat future maintenance as a guaranteed monthly bill, automatically transferring cash to a separate account so you never have to borrow from your investments. Quiet wealth reflection. Never steal from your future freedom to pay for your present pride. Finally, we arrive at the 8th and most crucial point, tied to the concept of ikigai, your true life purpose. When your money does not align with your true purpose, it easily vanishes into things that do not matter. The modern money problem is our complete blindness to opportunity cost. If you finance a $55,000 truck over 7 years and add in insurance, fuel, and maintenance, you will easily spend over $130,000. The visible cost is a beautiful ride. The hidden cost is that after 7 years, that vehicle will be worth maybe $15,000. You spent $130,000 for the privilege of owning $15,000. Meanwhile, if you had invested that $800 monthly payment into a simple index fund, you would have built over $70,000 in liquid cash. The psychological trap is our inability to visualize alternate realities. We clearly see the car we bought, but we cannot see the wealth we sacrificed to get it. The system fix is direct. If you decide to downsize your car or drive an older model, you must instantly automate the monthly difference into an investment account. Give that saved money a job. Quiet wealth reflection. Sometimes the most powerful financial decision is not earning more. It is needing less from the wrong things, so your money has a place to grow. Now let's pause for a moment. Hearing all of this might feel a little uncomfortable, especially if there is a brand new finance car sitting in your driveway right now. I want to be perfectly clear. This is not about forcing yourself to drive an unsafe, unreliable junk car. This is not about never enjoying a new vehicle or depriving yourself of comfort. It is about awareness. It is about taking the power back from an automotive industry that has spent billions of dollars trying to dictate what your success should look like. You are absolutely allowed to buy a nice car, but you should buy it on your own terms with money you actually have, rather than sacrificing your long-term financial peace to finance an illusion. It is time to stop letting your driveway dictate your destiny. So, how do you actually break free from this system? Here is your action plan. First, we need to practice Kakeibo on your current vehicle. Tonight, sit down and calculate your exact total cost of ownership for the last 30 days. Do not estimate. Add up your monthly loan payment, your exact insurance premium, your fuel costs, and divide your yearly maintenance bills by 12 to get a monthly average. Look at that final number. If it is consuming more than 15 to 20% of your take-home pay, you have a massive wealth leak. Second, find out exactly where you stand. Check your vehicle's current value online and compare it to your loan payoff amount. If you have negative equity, your immediate financial goal is to aggressively pay down that difference before you do anything else. Finally, once your car is fully paid off, you must embrace Kintsugi. Do not trade it in just because you are bored. Drive it, maintain it, and keep it. But here is the secret step. Keep making that same car payment every single month. Only this time, automate it directly into a broad market index fund. Turn your depreciating car payment into an appreciating wealth-building machine. The next time you are driving down the highway and find yourself behind that massive, gleaming $70,000 truck, do not feel jealous. Remember the Mienai, the unseen reality. That truck is likely not a symbol of financial success, but a rolling monument to an 8-year loan and a heavy burden of stress. Japanese money habits are not magical secrets. They are simply a lens that helps us see our money clearly. True quiet wealth means your money serves your life instead of your life serving your car payment. You do not need to impress the cars next to you at a red light. You just need a system that quietly builds your freedom in the background. If this video helped you see your money differently, hit that subscribe button for more videos on quiet wealth and intentional living. This video is for educational purposes only and is not personal financial advice. Financial rules, taxes, pensions, and investment products vary by country. Always consider your own situation and speak with a qualified professional when needed.